everyone who has learned about physics, we obviously know about Newton's. I'll be talking about their three laws. Newton's first law states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by the action of external force. Newton's second law said that acceleration, or gaining speed, happens when a force acts on a mass, an object. Newton's third law states that every action or force in nature, there is an equal and opposite reaction. From this picture, you can see the first Newton's law, which means that if I don't start the machine of the car, it will always be in a straight line or at rest. Newton's second law could be seen from this picture too, whereas my mass and the force I exert will impact the acceleration of the car as I am sitting. You could also see the third Newton's law of motion, which is the action and reaction force. According to Newton, whenever object A and B interact with each other, they exert forces upon each other. When you sit in your chair, your body exerts a downward force on the chair, and the chair exerts an upward force on your body. Now, I will be discussing about three energies, which is potential energy, kinetic energy, and conservative energy. First, potential energy. Potential energy is the energy held by an object because of its position relative to other objects, stresses within itself, its electric change, or other values. Meanwhile, for kinetic energy is the energy that it possesses due to its motion. It is defined as the work needed to accelerate a body of a given mass from rest to its stated velocity. Having gained this energy during its acceleration, the body maintains this kinetic energy unless its speed changes. As for conservative energy, it stated that the total energy of an isolated system remains constant, or it is said to be conserved over time. This picture contains all three energies, which is kinetic, conservative, and potential energy. As we swing, its potential energy changes to kinetic energy, then back to potential energy, and so forth. Its potential energy is at a minimum because the swing is at its lowest point, the swing against the potential energy as it moves forward. Now let's say that the initial position is when me and Amanda is at rest. The height of the swing is predicted to be at 0 meters. To count the potential energy, we need to count the mass times gravity times height. As for the initial position, where we are at rest, which means there will be no potential energy, which means there is 0 joule. As for the second position, we will be predicting that the height will be 2 meters with the same formula to find the potential energy, which is mass times gravity times height. In this case, because there are two of us, the mass will be multiplied by 2. In result, we will get 400 joules. For the kinetic energy, the formula is 1 per 2 times mass times velocity. I will be counting the kinetic energy of point A, which is the initial position, so it will be 1 per 2 times 10 multiplied by 2 times 0, which is equal to 0 joules because we are not moving or we are at rest. As for the kinetic energy for position B, when the potential energy is at its maximum, there will be no kinetic energy, or the kinetic energy will be at 0 joules. From this picture, I could see multiple forces in this situation, which is why I will be making a free body diagram. As I'm pulling down the pole, there is a normal force. The normal force is the force that surface exert to prevent solid objects from passing through each other. The acceleration comes from me pulling down the cart. As I am pulling it down, it will also go to the right side because there are wheels, which is why the acceleration goes to the right or to my direction. As the cart moves to the right, the wheel will rotate to the left, creating friction from the wheel and the body of the cart, as well as the friction from the wheel to the floor. For the force of gravity, as I am swinging on the cart, pulling it down, gravity helps me put me back down on the earth. There is where the force of gravity is created.